Let me transition to the Boston Celtics because they've got a game 2 coming up tonight. And game 1 wasn't too good. Jimmy Butler did his thing. We know this. Last year in the playoffs, in games that Miami won, 7-game series, went 7 games, Jimmy Butler averaged 32 a game in the 3 games they won. He averaged 20 a game in the 3 games they lost. So somehow, some way, it might behoove you to neutralize him. That's number 1. Number 2, the Miami Heat had 4 different players score 15 points. 4. And of those 4 different players that scored 15 points apiece, all 4 of them hit 3 3-pointers. All 4 of them. You got to do something about that. You just got to do something about that. You got to figure out a way not to let that happen. That's what they got to do. By the way, Jason Tatum, a lot of people are going off about him. I'm not going to go off about him. I love Jason Tatum. He's a superstar in this league. Superstars do not go an entire fourth quarter without attempting 1 field goal. Not when you just finish averaging 30 for the season. Not even Larry Bird averaged 30 for the Boston Celtics in the season. Averaged 29.9, but not 30. You're Jason Tatum. You got to shoot the ball. The Boston Celtics, you got to play defense. Defensive field goal percentages by individuals. Marcus Smart gave up 61% shooting with whoever he was guarding against. Jason Tatum gave up 60%. Malcolm Brogdon gave up 58%. Robert Williams III gave up 57%. Jaylen Brown gave up 53%. Where the hell's the defense, Boston Celtics? This is where Joe Mazzulla takes heat. This is where people question, Ime Udoka, are we better off without him or not? Because even though you're in the conference finals, the fact of the matter is there's been some faux pas, some mistakes when it comes to some of the things that Joe Mazzulla was doing. And we got to be real with that. There's no way around that. We have to be real with that. They got to be better defensively. They got to make sure that Jason Tatum gets the ball. They got to make sure that Jaylen Brown, who's in line for a 5-year, $295 million deal, that brother gets the ball. He ain't going to get that much. They ain't paying 2 players $300, $600 million. That's not going to happen. Boston's not going to do that. But both of them will get well over $200 million. And they both deserve it. But you got to close the deal. And Jimmy Butler is coming at them now like a Rough Rider. He ain't scared. He told them before game 1 he was going to beat them. And nobody brought it up as bulletin board material, as my man Jalen Rose said. Because guess what? We weren't surprised. Because Jimmy Butler is that dude. So we just got to be honest about it. We got to be real with it and authentic with it. Jason Tatum's got to shoot the ball in the fourth quarter. Him and Jaylen Brown have to be more efficient. They all got to stop turning the damn ball over. And they got to play better defense because that's what the Boston Celtics were doing under Ime Udoka. And they're not doing that this postseason enough under Joe Mazzulla. And the 4 players for Miami that shot threes, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Kyle Lowry, and Caleb Martin, each scored 15 points, each connected on 3 3-point field goals apiece. You got to do something about that. It's just that simple. Heat are 11-2 when Jimmy Butler scores 35 or more points in a playoff game. Jimmy Butler joined Russell Westbrook from 2014 and Michael Jordan from 1989 as the only players with at least 35 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals in a conference finals game. Miami 7-0 this postseason when Jimmy Butler scores 27 or more points. He had 20 at halftime game 1. 12 of 25 field goals he finished with for the game. That's 48% shooting. It was Butler's 5th game with 30 or more points this postseason, and he added 7 assists, 6 steals, 5 rebounds. 3-point field goal shooting, Miami, one of the worst offenses in the NBA this past season. 16 of 31 shooting from 3-point range. They also shot 10 of 15 from mid-range. Boston was 10 of 9 from 3-point, 34%. Last stat that we all need to pay attention to. Do y'all know over the last 2 postseasons, the Boston Celtics are a 500 team at home? 10-10 in the postseason, compared to 12-6 on the road. They fell to 4-4 at home this postseason, but they're 4-2 on the road this postseason. They were 32-9 at TD Garden in Boston during the regular season. Something's got to give. Boston's got to win game 2. I don't give a damn how good they are on the road. I don't think you're coming back against this Miami team down 0-2 after losing your first 2 games on your home court. No matter how good they are on the road, I don't believe that for a second. So they're going to have to get it together.